I'm from Syria, and as some of you might think, I'm a terrorist. Let me take you on a journey about my life. I grew up in a small village located at the borders of Turkey, my hometown called Aleppo. It is one of the oldest cities in the world, and it was recently declared one of the most dangerous cities in the world. I'm from there. That picture was taken in 2006. I'm in the middle. These people are my cousins. This picture was taken at my grandma's house. Our life before the war was just as happy as you could ever imagine. We had our own big house, we had a garden, a farm. We were living just happily. We used to go to school, my father worked, and we were living happily and peacefully. Until one day in 2011, it was summer. In summer in Syria, we sleep at the rooftop of the house. So that, it is warm, but it's colder to sleep at the rooftop of the house, so we get also to look at the sky and the stars. So one day as we were sleeping, we suddenly saw fireballs flying above our heads, hitting the village next to us. Soon after, I realized it was bombs. Imagine you're sleeping peacefully with your family, looking at the beautiful stars in the sky, and suddenly you see bombs flying above your head. The sound was so loud, we quickly ran, we went underground the house, we hid there, and we just stayed there the entire night. We couldn't sleep because the sound of the bombs was so loud. And, at any time one of the bombs could drop at our house and we all will die. So the only thing we were doing is praying to God to protect us. And it's a miracle. God saved us. Next morning, we went out, it was quiet. We looked at the village next to us, it was completely destroyed. Fire was everywhere, no one was there. All people died, the houses, the schools, the hospitals in that village was completely destroyed. So that's when my family decided to leave the country and take us to a safer place, which is Malaysia. Before coming to Malaysia, after we packed our everything and we said goodbye to our relatives and friends, it was a very sad day. So on our journey from Aleppo going to Damascus, the capital city of Syria, in the airport, we were in the bus. I looked from the bus window. I was 12 years old, living in my country. I looked from the bus window. I have seen horrible views of houses being bombed, schools and hospitals destroyed. I even saw dead bodies on the ground. And the only question that came to my head is, why am I living? Why am I running away from this? This is my country, this is my land. Why am I afraid of this? I need to stand there, I need to fight, I need to protect it. Now imagine you have two options in your life. Fight to protect your country and your nation, or study and learn to rebuild your nation. So when I was thinking of holding a gun and fight for my country at the age of 12, these thoughts came to my head. If all the young ones, my age, hold a gun and fight, and they all died and the war has stopped, who is going to rebuild the country for the new generation? Who is going to rebuild all these houses, all these schools, or this hospital that is destroyed? We, the young ones, can do that through education. So I told myself, I can fight for my country. I can protect my country, but not using guns and violence, using education and knowledge. We arrived in Malaysia in 2012. Some of you might be asking why Malaysia, and a lot of people ask why Malaysia. The only reason is that we had Malaysian friends, a family. They used to live in Syria before the war. The wife used to study there. We met each other at the mosque and we become friends. We invite each other for dinner or lunch. And they started going through some difficulties financially. They were not able to pay the house rent. So we took them and they stayed in our house for 3 years. We lived together in the same house for 3 years. And soon after that, his wife and his study, they came back to Malaysia, and when the war started, they told us to come here. What I'm trying to say here, when we first met them and they started going through difficulties in our country, we did not look at where they come from. We did not look at their race. We did not look at their religion. As long as they need help, we just offered our help. We never expected, we never even thought that one day Syria will be going through war and we will become refugees, and this same exact family will welcome us and help us back. We never thought. It's the same thing with all of you. Today you might help somebody in need. You never know, tomorrow you'll be in trouble, be in difficulty. This same person will help you back. Not necessarily tomorrow, maybe after 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now. That's exactly what's happened to us. So help for the sake of helping. When we first arrived in Malaysia, we went to a government school, but we were rejected because we are foreigners. But the school principal was very kind. He said, we can sit at the back of the class just to listen to learn the language. We went there, my siblings and I. At that time, we only know Arabic, no English, and no Malay. We sat at the back of the class. We stayed at that school for 2 weeks. And in these 2 weeks, all we learned was the swear words. And the first one was mak kau hijau, which means your mother is green, which didn't make any sense until I found about the video of that ticket. So we learned, of course, the basic apa khabar, sudah makan, ada awet belum. We learned the basic, and yeah, we learned the language. Then we stopped because we got bullied a lot of times for being an Arab and not speaking the local language. We stopped, we just stayed at home, and we started learning by ourselves, reading newspaper, reading books, watching TV, and listening to music. We learned both Malay and English in just 2 years. Soon after that, my father's health condition became bad, so he couldn't work anymore. So I started working at a restaurant at the age of 12. I went to IIM, International Islamic University in Malaysia, and I started working, washing dishes, cleaning tables, and then in 2013, I worked as chef assistant, cutting vegetables and cooking. And in 2014, I was hired to be the cashier. As you can see in this picture, the first one was in 2013, was taken when I was chef assistant, and this picture was in 2014. Working was something new. I never worked in my life, but all I wanted was to help my family. One day, a very tall, a huge man came in as I was at the cashier counter working. Came in and asked me, "Where's your passport?" I told him my passport at home, but I have UN card. And I showed him my UN card. He said, "Oh, you're a refugee. You can't work here. Sit here for a while." So I realized there was a group of them. They came in from all doors and they arrested all the other illegal workers. That's when they put the handcuff in my hands. The only question that was in my head at the time is, why? What did I do? I started looking around. Did I kill somebody? What was my mistake? Being handcuffed at the age of 14 was just frightening. I was scared. I started to cry. They took us to the detention center in Bukit Jalil. When we went inside the detention center, they put me in a room with another 20 people. Everything was dark, and we all should sleep on the ground. The food they offered can't even feed an animal. It was too little that I was so hungry every day. The water to drink was from the toilet sink in the same room that completely has chlorines. We have to drink that water every day. A lot of people were sick inside the detention center. First few days I was frightened, I was scared, I felt terrible, to the point I wished to die in a war rather than living inside the detention center. At least I won't suffer as much. I was beaten up by the immigration officers every single day. Not just me, but all the other refugees in the detention center. One day, a new group came into the detention center and they put them in the same room as me. 3 of them were kids who were younger than me. I was 14, these kids, one was 13, one was 13, one was 12, and one was 11. They were from Rohingya. When they first arrived, you could see the bones on their chest because they were very hungry. When you look at their eyes, you could see what a horrible journey they have gone through. And I tried to approach them. I asked them, "How did you end up here?" One of them said his father was beheaded in front of his eyes. The other one said his house, his shop, everything was burnt out, and they had nothing else just to leave the country and come seek asylum in Malaysia. The moment they arrived in Malaysia at the Penang beach, they were taken all the way to detention center. They hoped to start a new life, but no, they ended up in the detention center. That time, me listening to their stories opened my eyes and opened my heart. And I realized that how ungrateful I was all this time. I used to complain a lot. Although I ended up being in a prison at the age of 14, at least I have my parents out there, and I should be grateful for that.
At least I'm documented. I have the UN card that will release me soon, but they don't have anything. We become friends, we always tell each other stories. I spent 9 days in the detention center, and then I was released. When I was released, I didn't know either to feel happy or sad. Happy because I'm finally going to meet my parents. Sad because I'm leaving them behind. I wish I had the superpower to take them with me, to release them. Because they're children. Children do not deserve to live like this. Children deserve to live a happy life. And they're innocent. They are not the one that caused the war in their countries. It was a very sad moment for me to say goodbye to them and not being able to do anything and having the chance to be released, but they don't have that chance. One of them told me before I left, Hassan, don't forget us. I went home and I was really scared and I was just traumatized and I started blaming myself and complaining about everything. And then I said to myself, should I just sit there and stand and just blame and be traumatized, or should I stand up and do something? I know I'm not that powerful to release them, but I have the power to help other refugee children from not going through the same. It's all of us here the same. When we went to help someone, we always look at these powerful people, helping thousand people, and then we feel like, oh, I cannot do that. I cannot do the same, so I better not help. No. If we look deep inside, if we look at ourselves, what is our limitation? What is the things that we can do? I, as a person, can do. You can make the change and you can make an impact. So I said, although I can't help release them from the prison, I can help other refugee children. I can protect them from not going through the same. So I started going and volunteering at the refugee school, teaching English and Malay, because that was my skills at that time, education, and I love teaching. So I started teaching, and my main aim was to educate them, encourage them to come to school every day with the hope that tomorrow is going to be better, and you shape your own future. Another ability I have is public speaking and raising awareness. Here's the funny thing. Some of my Malaysian friends, when I first met them and I told them I'm a refugee here, guess what they say? Oh, you're so lucky to be a refugee. I was shocked. Where on earth is it lucky to be a refugee? I tell them why. Why is it lucky? They say, oh, our government give you a house, our government give you a job, our government give you money. I was like, where do you get all this information? And then they say, oh, we heard from somebody. This is reality. A lot of people think of us refugees that we're earning money from the government, Malaysian government. No, nobody's supporting us. We have to stand by our own here. If you want to know the truth, if you want to know what the refugees are suffering from, you go to the communities, make refugee friends, understand their stories, understand their struggle. Don't just listen from people. Do not judge us by just what people say, by what media say. Come, know us, listen to us. That's only then you can know what we're suffering and what we're going through. There are so many talented refugees in Malaysia. I have a friend who's an engineer, but unfortunately he graduated as an engineer in Syria. He studied for 5 years. Unfortunately, he can't use that qualification. So he's working as a waiter. Imagine you're studying and as an engineer, you're paying a lot of money and your parents send you to this UTP here, everything, and suddenly when you graduate, you can't use it, so you work as a waiter. How would you feel? I have that friends who were nurses, even doctors, work in restaurants because they can't use their qualification. So after that, after volunteering in some refugee schools and all that, I decided to start an organization to help at least make the life of this refugee a bit easier. So when I started Al-Hasan Volunteer Network in 2016, first I approached another organization, I don't want to mention names, to help me to start this project. And they asked me, how old are you? I say I'm 16, and they say, aren't you supposed to be playing football? And they say, go play, we can't help you to do this. They did not believe in me. They did not believe that I can do it just because of my age. I did not let that bring me down. I went, I did it, I called my friends, I used my own money, I started from zero, and the project was successful, and another. Today, I have over 14 projects running in Kuala Lumpur. I have 300 volunteers who have volunteered with me. I have organized over 100 events in just 2 years. Why? Because I believed in myself. And this is to all of you here. If you have an idea, if you have a project, Don't listen to what people say. People will judge you until your entire life. Even when you become very successful, they will still judge you. Until today, there's a lot of people who still judge me. Do I care? No. I know what I'm doing. I know the impact I'm putting on these people's lives. And I know I trust myself and I believe in myself. And that's what's most important. So we have a lot of projects. We have like mural painting, we have food basket distribution, we have entertainment events, we have sports events, we have medical checkup events. We have a lot of events and we do welcome volunteers all the time. And back to my life, my story. I got sponsored to study IGCSE O-levels last year. It was a doctor. She sponsored me and I finished my OLs. And then I applied at Nottingham University because they give scholarship for refugees. I was happy I applied, but first I was rejected. Because my exam results are not that qualified to enter Nottingham. Then they asked me, the interviewer, they asked me, what else have you done other than exam papers? And here I come. So I brought all the certificates I have of me organizing events, social events, of me speaking at conferences, speaking at TEDx. I gave them all this information and the work that I do, and they were shocked. They say, okay, we'll email you after two weeks, we'll let you know. And after 2 weeks, I got an email, congratulations, you're accepted in Nottingham. This is why we as young people here, use your time to do things that is not academic, not just exams and studies. That itself is not enough for you to shape your future. When you start doing social work and gaining experience and skills, this will help you to open a lot of doors for you in the future. Not just scholarship opportunities, but also work opportunities. They want skills, they want to see what else have you done other than exam papers. I'm very thankful that I started Nottingham. I'm very thankful to Nottingham for giving me the opportunity. And before I end up my talk today, my first class I started in Nottingham, the teacher asked us to introduce ourselves. And when it was my turn, I said, I'm Hassan, I'm from Syria. There was 2 girls next to me, they said, you're not carrying a bomb, right? And the entire class started laughing, including the lecturer. For them it was funny, for me it hurt. That is discrimination. Why do you think all Syrian people are terrorists? Why do you think all Syrian people carry bombs? Yeah, I do, I have a bomb, I'm kidding. I mean, discrimination is real, it is around us. And your job as a person, if you want to help refugees, you might think you don't have the power. The only power that we all have is our voices. And that is one of the most powerful tools that we all have, speaking up the truth for the voiceless. And back to why I chose education. All of you know Malala. Malala's story really had impact on my life. She said, she was shot in the head by the Taliban because she was fighting for the girls' education in Pakistan. Did she die? No. Today, she's not just fighting for the girls in Pakistan. She's doing it all over the world. This is proof that her ambition, her dream, was stronger than Taliban's gun. The gun that wanted to kill millions of children. The gun that wanted to kill children's dream and education. I always look forward to her. And I do consider Malaysia as my second home because I grew up here basically. And all people ask me, what do I want to do in the future? Well, now I'm studying Foundation in Arts and Education in Nottingham, and after that I want to pursue my degree, and after I graduate I want to go back to my country and help rebuild after the war. That was what I want to do. And I have a dream of becoming the education minister in Syria. I pray may that be achieved because I want to change the education system, because we need to start with our young people, with them small, teach them, educate them about humanity, about love and respect. They will grow up right. They will grow up doing right things. And before I end up my talk, just last sentence, I want to tell all of you what, from my talk, from my journey, coming all the way from Aleppo, from nothing, and now at least I feel I have value. Never give up. You might go through a lot of problems, I know, and it might not be the same, but it feels the same. I just want you to know that don't give up. And use your time to make the change. Because you are the one to become the voice for those voices. Thank you for having me.